A filmmaker says a survivalist accused of ambushing a state police barracks in northeastern Pennsylvania appears in an upcoming documentary about Vietnam War reenactors. NBC aired footage from a documentary called Vietnam Appreciation Day. The clip shows Eric Frein talking about war reenactments.
Can you start just by saying who you are and like a little bit of your authority on the subject matter, and then just an explanation of how you felt today went from start to finish. So you'd start out and say, I'm so and so.
Well, my name's Eric Frein, and
so
I'll give you a little. Okay, my name's Eric Frein, and we're here today at Fort Mifflin, Vietnam Remembrance Day, and what we have is a display of, the United States Army fighting men through the time period, and it's the Remembrance Day for the veterans, and we commemorate them by talking about what they did. And what I saw today was initially there was a lot of people here, a lot of spectators that came, but unfortunately we got here late. We didn't finish unpacking until all the spectators finished walking through, so maybe tomorrow, which will be Sunday, more people will be here, and we can educate them a little bit about what the United States fighting man did in Southeast Asia between 1965 and 1975.
How did you feel, having been to a few of these, that the reenactment went today? Can you give us a commentary on that?
The reenactment we saw today was, it's hard to call it like really a reenactment. A bunch of guys went out and popped off some blank ammunition from the rifles. It's Remembrance Day. It's to commemorate the veterans. It's not really to play army, to basically enact a fantasy. I mean, that you really don't do anything by that with the public as far as teaching them anything. It's not Vietnam. We're in the middle of Pennsylvania. We're in a Revolutionary War fort. It's not a place to really try and reenact a battle. That's just my personal opinion, though. So. Otherwise, I mean, the reenactment, you have to ask the spectators and see what they thought, because they might have a more objective opinion than mine, because I'm a little bit biased, because I've been doing this for 8 years. It's a very laid-back event. Not that, the guy who threw it on did do a lot of planning for it, but I would definitely, if it was up to me, I would stress that it's not a reenactment. It's a living history. It's not about reenacting battles or anything. It's about teaching the public and showing the equipment that was used, talking about the history of it all.
And we've done tacticals before. Like, we've done tactical events, not in the public, not to try to say that we're doing this tactical event because this is how we remember the veterans. It's more of a that is when it turns more into a sport. It mixes the history with a sport, not a sport, but I don't know. It's to give a small taste or an idea, and it's not. There's no way that we can ever understand or pretend to understand what a veteran had to experience, but it's. I don't know, I think that's also a different attitude on how you can, when you actually have a tactical, there are different attitudes on how you go about that. There are guys that go, we're going to win. It's like, well, it's not about winning.
There's some people that go to some of these tactical events, like in Virginia per se, but they go because they really want to try to get as close as they can get to experiencing what it was like.
It's not about
you can collect this stuff for 100 years, but you can't really gain the experience. You can gain understanding, but you can't gain the experience. And coming to something like this, you're not going to gain any experience. But if you go to an event where you live like they did, and you hump the bush like they, so to say, like they did, and you eat the same things they did, you get a better understanding.
Yeah. You never have a fear like they did. You never understand that.
But having like Wild Bill's, like Wild West Circus, I mean, that doesn't. What does that do?
Yeah.
These guys mentioned tacticals. All of us, we agreed like it was one of the best reenactment tacticals we'd ever been to. These two guys and one other guy dressed up like long-range reconnaissance patrol guys, and we had like 9 NVA and VC, and I was in charge of them, and we had to find them, and we just walked around for 2 days straight, We never did find them. They found us a few times. I had one of these rifles with like 200 rounds of ammunition. I fired like 15 rounds total the whole time, the whole 2 days that was it. And I mean, they had like 60 pounds worth of equipment on their back, like all their food, all their water. And
we never took it off.
Never took it off. He couldn't smoke because we'd always, every time we tried to smoke, he said like one of my patrols would come close to him, they'd have to stop and just stay real still.
Yeah.
And you're not experiencing what they did, but you just get an idea.
We research a lot too. I mean, we don't do, it's not just like we go out and make this stuff up. They're, read a lot of books and talk to veterans who were actually there and did this. And they told us that they had, and it's weird because you never understand the fear. You never understand losing your friends. Like we're not trying to say that we do when you do a tactical, but when you go, like you said, when you go out here to shoot guns, like that's not.
Okay. Eric's fear is of clowns, carnies, gypsies, and crowds. He's a phobia of crowds.
There's one helmet here on the table.
You hit the ground where you got real big. I'll just put them in food instead of you. I used to shoot him. Music played and people said, just for me the church bells rang.
People that I love to my darling best, my darling wife. I did all the cue cards. This is my wife, Cindy.
Yeah, that looks great.
If you want some.
You get a shot of me.
Can you get a picture with you? Every pretty woman is your friend.
Better with an M16. With an M16 around.
The camera's right there.
With an M16 around, you can
Okay,
have.
tell me where I'm looking.
Right at that
At
camera.
Me. I smell beer.
Yeah, you smell
Or wine.
We've been smelling.
On Eric Frein. Over the past 24 hours, police say they've spotted the man suspected of the ambush shooting outside a state police barracks. Good evening. I'm Ron Martin.
And I'm Kim Lemon. News 8's Meredith Jorgensen joins us now with the update.
Ron and Kim, police say they've seen him, but Eric Frein was too far away to capture. And he's leaving clues in the forest, including cigarette packs and soiled diapers.